So I just want to talk about old fears resurfacing, because this Scorpio new moon that we just had last Friday on November the 1st initiated a cycle of recognizing all of your old ways of being, your old patterns, your old habits, your old identity. This has been basically an activated theme with this November 1st Scorpio new moon. And so you might be noticing, and it may have already happened for you over the weekend, that fears are coming back up to the surface. Fears that you thought you were like good and you were over it and you were done with it. Those fears could be coming up right now. And that's not a punishment from the universe. It's not happening to trap you. It is simply the universe's way of showing you how much you have evolved out of those patterns, how much you have evolved outside of your old identity, how much you have evolved in terms of your responses to stressful situations or to challenges in life. So anything that is old, anything that you know is how you used to function excessively, and how you used to feel about things, how you used to perceive things and look at things, all of that could be coming up for you right now, so that you can be really, really hyper aware of who you are no longer. And the choice, of course, is always given when we are tested in this way. So basically, for the remainder of November, because this theme is going to play out for all of November and continuing into 2025. So this theme is actually an activated theme of 2025 already showing up at our doorstep now. And it's showing up now so that you can become hyper aware of what patterns you're done with, what patterns you are now ready to let go, how you are ready to move more into who you truly are and into this new identity, which is in essence your true self. That is the new identity that you are becoming, is your true self. The self without limitation, the self without judgment, the self without perfectionism, but just this raw, beautiful, flawed, authentic version of yourself that is aware of their flaws, someone who is aware of what needs to change within them for them to become a better person, or just what needs to change within you to live a more free life, right? So there's this, like I said, it's hyper awareness. I keep hearing that, is hyper awareness that we're all exposed to. It's like we're forced to see our life, ourselves, our circumstances, our situations from a very different perspective. We are being shown what we no longer want to be, how we no longer want to identify, with who we no longer want to identify. And the challenge here is that people, places, things, and patterns are going to surface. They are going to come into your life. They're going to be potentially disruptive. But again, it's just to show you what you are already done with. Do not allow these fears to control you. Do not allow these fears to take over any aspect of you or to allow them to hijack the new version of yourself. Stay very firm, very grounded within the new version of yourself, who is still unfolding, who is still blossoming and becoming. Be very grounded within that persona of you. Because this test, this challenge, this bubbling to the surface, this revelation that this Scorpio new moon brought about our patterns, is the sign that you are moving to a higher level of consciousness. And this is the process, the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel that one must reach in order to completely transcend out of these patterns of fear, out of these patterns of not enough and lack, out of these patterns of self-sabotage, holding ourselves back, and not honoring, not allowing our true selves to come forth. So there could be a lot of different patterns for you specifically coming up at this time. And some of those patterns could be like major self-doubt. That's a big one. So if there's a lot of self-doubt that you're suddenly experiencing, where before, maybe the new moon, you were feeling good and you were feeling more in your power and you were feeling like, yes, I got it and I'm doing it and I'm going forward. If you had all those feelings and then now all of a sudden you find yourself with this new moon going into this energy of like major self-doubt and just literally all of your fears resurfacing. This is feelings of inadequacy. This is imposter syndrome. This is not feeling enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling pretty enough, not feeling fit enough or healthy enough or strong enough, feeling unworthy of good things happening to you or for you, or feeling unworthy of good things, good people, good opportunities, good money, good sex, good whatever coming into your life, good partnership, good companionship, like not feeling worthy of good in whatever form you want that good to come into your life, not feeling worthy of having those good things in your life, feeling like maybe you're too much, right? That's also actually a feeling of like inadequacy, like, oh, I'm too much for people. And maybe that's why people don't like me, or that's why people don't want me around, or whatever. It's these stories, right? These stories that you have been telling yourself forever and ever could be very much resurfacing, could have been resurfacing for you over the weekend. To challenge it, to see it for what it is, to recognize it as, oh, those are one of my fears. Okay, cool. Well, now that I see that that's one of my fears, I can start really working on overcoming it. Use affirmations, positive affirmations that say the complete opposite of that, right? And robotically saying those affirmations on a daily basis, looking in the mirror until you feel like you're completely out of that energy, until you have completely transcended and transmuted that fear. There are such simple ways to overcome our fears, and we overthink and overcomplicate them all the time. Perfection is another one of those that stems from fear, right? Having to look perfect, or feeling like you need to show up perfect, especially if you're doing social media of any kind, where you're posting images of yourself or videos of yourself. And personally, as a YouTuber, this is something that I certainly have faced in the past a lot. It did come up for me again over this new moon weekend. And it just challenged me to look at the reality versus the fear. And it was a really cool experience for me because it allowed me this morning to just show up as I am.